Was that a... Are you serious right now? Was that a double kill? Hello and welcome back to the Ronin, and when we left off, we were kind of running around our sort of border territory here and trying to defend against the Battanians, trying to attack them, retaliate, and, well, just trying to survive. Just trying to survive against them. As you can quite clearly see, they're now sending a relatively large army towards us, which is to be expected, of course. I mean, they are going to try and attack the weakest point in our defenses. At least, that is what we can always expect them to do. Anyway, as you can no doubt see, I have taken 5 additional vassals prisoner since the last time you saw my army, and this is my current army composition. Nothing too amazing, but it will do the job, or at least I hope it will do the job. Now, I actually want to go in here because these guys are going to attack me in just a second. However, this is not that good. This is not that good. This kind of engagement is going to result in possibly quite a few casualties for us, and I'm not a big fan of that. If I can try and prevent that as much as I possibly can, then that's obviously great, and that's the reason why I was hoping that my trebuchets might be able to deal a little bit more bombardment damage before we even had to commit to any kind of actual warfare. Because obviously beforehand, you can pretty much just rest on your laurels a little bit. You can kind of relax, sit back, and let your trebuchets do the work. But, well, the Battanians had other ideas, as they always tend to do nowadays. And we are now, well, actually seeing some pretty cool sights here. I mean, just look at the smoke and the fire and the snow in the sort of dark night that we have going on here. It's pretty cool. I like it. Unfortunately, we are going to have to wait for our siege towers and various other siege equipment to reach the walls, which is a little bit problematic. I mean, it's not that bad because I think that in general the enemy doesn't really have any ranged units that are super powerful that I have to be wary of. I'm gonna use my horse here as a little bit... Is that an enemy right there? Yes, it is. Look at that. No. He's... Are you... Did you literally... He literally shot me in the shoulder. That was not very nice of him. Gotta say that. Horsey, run away. Run away, horsey. Okay, yeah, so we have someone here who wants to... Oh, he got murdered. Oh, yes, I said the M word again. Oh, dear. And that means we are now cursed for the remainder of the siege, as is the tradition, shall we say. And I'm wondering whether I should actually avoid the siege towers at this point, because if I avoid the siege tower, it's more than likely going to prevent me from dying, because let's face it, I haven't had a very good track record of, well, going up those things and not falling off and then, you know, ending up being absolutely murdered as a result of it. Anyway, I've said it twice now, so now I am double cursed. Okay, well, this is going to be good. Anyway, oh, nice hit. Nice hit, I like it. Can we see anyone else? Oh, look, he's dangling. He's jittering around. Look at that. I don't know whether you can see that in the sort of dark area there, but yeah, hopefully you can, because that is hilarious. Oh, and that guy moved out of the way just in time. Get him. Yeah, there we go. That was a nice headshot. And maybe we can get a little bit more going on here. I'm looking around. Any possible targets? Oh, the battering ram is already here. That's actually really nice. They made good time then. Oh, nice headshot. Okay, wow. That was pretty surprising. I actually thought that that was going to miss. But I feel like we're actually doing quite nicely. Oh, a Battanian Fiant champion. Yeah, I feel like we're doing quite nicely with our crossbow nowadays in comparison to what we would usually do. I'm getting shot again. I feel like I'm look at this. I'm like a human pincushion at this point. Look at this. It's absolutely preposterous. I can't believe that they've done such a thing. Anyway, let's see what we can do here. This is going to be the first time that we even get a chance to use our katana in an actual siege. I think I said this. I seem to recall me saying something very similar in a previous episode, because I think I was excited to use a new weapon, and then I think I ended up dying really fast. and I don't think I could actually get into any kind of battle at all, so that was not great. But hopefully I'm going to be able to get a chance here. Oh, yes, use my superior speed. Oh, yeah, very nice. Nice little slash against that guy. Oh, no, 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 get him, get him. Okay, oh, yeah. The Battanians are causing a bit of a frame rate problem for me right now. Battanians usually do that, which is, I think, something that the developers should really look at, because I think there's some armor or something that causes a little bit of a performance issue. Obviously, bear in mind, I am playing on a version of the game that is vastly outdated in comparison to the current update that Bannerlord has already, so it could very well be that they fixed that thing already, so it's not really something that maybe I should be complaining about just yet. We should probably update and then see what's happening with the later versions. I'm basically just trying to do a little bit of glancing damage here and there. Don't really care about getting kills as such, because in this particular game, you don't need to get kills to earn experience. It's not warband, so you can pretty much just have a fun old time. What's going on here? Look at these guys. Come on, guys. I'm just going to tell them to charge in. What is actually happening here? Look at them. They're just standing there not doing anything. That is terrible. They shouldn't be doing that. They should actually be helping me. Wow. I'm almost speechless. Oh, that was really bad. That was really bad. Just to come across my units just standing there not doing anything. That is literally not what I would have expected from Bannerlord's AI, to be honest. Usually they're pretty good in terms of being active on offense and all that stuff, and basically doing what you would expect them to do, you know, assaulting the enemy and trying to take them down as much as we possibly can. But in this one, really? They just stood there not doing much. Ah, that was not very good at all. But anyway, let's get some crossbow shots off. I've only got 6 left, so I'll probably just leave that for the moment. I don't think the barrels on the battlements, I'm going to take damage here. That was actually really bad. I thought the stairs went all the way down, but it actually turned off to the left. Here we go. Yeah. Take out these guys. They're actually pretty good, these fellows. They actually have pretty decent stats, so being able to take them down would be good. They are the Imperial's answer to horse archers. No. Thank you. Murder them. Murder... no. Yeah, I did say the siege was cursed, didn't I? Okay, yeah, I should probably stop saying the word murder. Yes, that would probably help. Okay, thankfully we seem to now be inflicting a lot of morale damage. As you can see, quick amounts of kills in a very fast succession is the way to go to do that. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Oh yes, this is really, really nice. I really do need to get my two-handed weapon skill up. That's the point. My two-handed weapon skill at the moment is pretty low in comparison to my one-handed, as far as I'm aware. I think my one-handed is like 200. So it would be quite nice to get two-handed to about that level as well. Yes, there we go. Fantastic. All right, so we actually ended up only losing about 24 units, which I personally feel is pretty good. I feel like that ratio is okay. I actually thought that we were losing a lot more, but I suppose most of the units that we were losing were just being knocked unconscious, and they were not actually dying once and for all, which is fantastic. Anyway, let's move on. And let's see what is indeed happening. Thankfully, no one died this time around, because if we recall, in the previous episode, we did have a death on our hands, which was not very good. Okay, so this particular army is going to go over to Cranarog Castle, as you would expect him to do. Now, I'm very much hoping that I will be able to do something about him. So let me just see if I can pick off a couple of people first. So Yorig is obviously the slowest person around here. He literally went in for the raid? He is not the smartest, well, shall we say, he's not the brightest bulb in the light. Yes, that's, wow, that was really good. That made a whole bunch of sense, didn't it? Anyway, he's not the sharpest knife in the drawer, shall we just say that? That's probably a little bit better to say. Ooh, look at that crossbow. Unfortunately, it is basically the same crossbow we have. Really weird that Yorig actually has a crossbow in his loot table. That's kind of strange. Anyway, let's move on. Maybe I can disorganize. Yeah, there we go. Disorganized state. Very nice. As we know, anyone that enters disorganized state is going to be super, super slow, and that's exactly what we want to see, most of the time at least. So if there's anyone raiding something, we want to pounce on them as soon as possible. Let's take all of their food as well. That's what I've started to do. I actually took some cotton as well, but I don't really care at this point because I'm actually trying to defend Krenarok Castle in just a second. So let's see indeed what happens. Do I have any perks? No. Don't have any perks, but my riding skill is actually almost there. Look at that. We are at 196, which is pretty nice. You can see here that my two-handed weapon skill is actually really far behind pretty much everything else. Look at my polearm skills at 268. That's pretty crazy. My engineering skills at 248 as well. So we're kind of close to a lot of milestones with a wide variety of different skills, and I'd like to be able to improve those as much as possible. Now, what I'm doing at this point is I literally... Oh. Well. Yes. That noise is basically someone that is done. Done with the Battanians. I have been fighting these guys for literally, I don't even know, 80% of the series or something like that. I have no idea, really, how much I've been fighting them, but it is it's getting a bit much that they are so endless in the way that they can just build up an army in like 2 seconds. But just wait a second, because look at this. They have 131 volunteers. They've got some trained warriors, of course. They do have 66 Oathsworn, which is problematic, and they also have 111 horsemen. But I'm thinking we might be able to do something here. How many of our forces are actually wounded? 59. I think we should be able to deal with these guys. Okay, they're actually going over to raid this village. Shall we? You know what? They have 80 Imperial Sergeant crossbowmen. Are they serious about that? That is actually kind of frightening. Yeah, they took that. But that's fine, because as you can see, the army has now just lost 200 units, or almost 200 units. So I feel like that's pretty decent. They put 145 in the garrison there, but bear in mind that that particular garrison is not even that strong. That garrison is going to be extremely weak because that army is mostly comprised of lower tier and mid tier units. So if I do want to do anything like that, it's not going to be that bad. Okay, come on now. Okay, here we go. Let's help our friend here. Don't run away from Lex army, sir. Could you go in there? Because if you go in there, yes. No. Why is he so slow? Okay, here we go. This is perfect. This is actually perfect right now. Get him. Yeah. Okay. This is good. Okay, so this is actually really quite fantastic. So obviously we have an overwhelming advantage in terms of numbers. I obviously don't know what the composition of our ally is. I don't think I'd be able to see it anyway because there's just so many units in this particular, well, gathering, I guess you could call it, that I probably wouldn't be able to separate which ones are his, which ones are mine. So what we're going to do is we're just going to try our best. We're going to just try to employ as best tactics as we can possibly do. And that means getting into this tree line over here as soon as possible. Being out in the open is not very good, especially considering I have 94 archers. I mean, really, 94 archers, that's pretty crazy. And bear in mind, he has 80 Imperial Sergeant crossbowmen in his army, so it's more than likely that he's going to be a pretty significant damage dealer if we let him. And I really don't want that to be the case. So I will try to maybe do a little bit of, little pokey, little pokey things around here. And I'll see if I can maybe do some damage to the leaders. Yeah, bear in mind that obviously my ability to do that against other lancing units is sufficiently, well, depleted because my current polearm is not that long, which is a bit of a problem. Anyway, we're just going to tell these guys to go into a shield wall formation. I'm going to try and pick them up. Oh no, we lost one of our lords already. Did you see that? Yeah. We lost the leader of the allied army. He is dead. He is literally dead right now. And even if I hit Lysica for 391, that is not a kill. Yeah. That's pretty bad. Anyway, this guy right here, he can just die. Come on, kill him. Kill him. Take him down. He's trapped. He's basically trapped. Come on, guys. There we go. Okay. We've taken him off his horse at least. There we go. Take that guy down. Maybe we can take this guy down as well. Yes, Lek. Oh no, we didn't kill him either. Look at that. We're losing so many of our people right now. Denny the she-wolf was murdered. I think that was one of our new companions that I was going to actually make into a leader of troops once I had, you know, headed back to more friendly territory. Because let's face it, Epicrotia and Omor, I have basically stripped them bare of pretty much any useful units that I can use adequately to fill out armies that are going to perform well. So that's a problem. That is indeed a huge problem. Let's wait a minute. What's actually going on with my with the enemy's forces? What's actually happening here? Do you see this? They're that's actually super funny. All right, I'm not entirely sure what's going on with their forces right now, but they are dwindling faster than you can say bolognese pasta sauce. Yeah. It's pretty much as fast as that. So, yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. Okay, wait a minute. Let me see if I can move my archers a little bit closer. This is really strange. This entire battle has been one strange event after the next, because if you think about it, losing a unit and then just mere moments later losing another one, and they are both named as well. I don't really mind so much about losing regular units because that's obviously, you know, the name of the game. That's what happens. You know, you just end up losing those guys. But to lose hero units so incredibly quickly, one after the other, that kind of makes me a little bit afraid, you know, because that means that most of my other people are also marked for death in a pretty significant way. Oh dear. Okay, I think I'm... okay, no, I'm okay. Yeah, I thought my horse was going to get taken out there, and then if it was, I was going to have some pretty big issues. Take out that Battanian horseman, thank you very much. And maybe we can take out some more. No. Nice. Oh, almost 500 damage. Oh yeah, that's what I like to see. Yeah, basically anytime we can get one of these kills, I am always like, yes, I like it, you know? I mean, I was able to get, what was it now? 390 something damage against Lysica, right? Wasn't it something like that? And that was not a kill, so I don't know. I don't think it actually has anything to do with the amount of damage you're able to deal. At least, I'd like to think it is. I think someone said that it was in the comments a while ago, but from what I can tell, I think it might literally just be a roll of the dice. And at this point, I'm not entirely sure I like that, because a roll of the dice could basically mean that they get hit by a horse charge. And if you have anything but a pureblood horse, which is what I'm using right now, but if you have anything but that, your horse charge damage is going to be so little. I mean, it's going to be like that, 2 damage against heavily armored units. And if you get charged for 2 damage and then get killed as a result of that, just because of the dice roll, I feel like that's maybe, you know, that's maybe not the best idea, you know. Anyway, I should actually tell my archers to charge in here. My infantry and my cavalry are getting carried away, because of course they are. You know, I've told them to get carried away, of course, so that's the reason. Anyway, let's just try and take out a couple more, and then hopefully they will see fit to retreat. I basically feel like if you can make an enemy retreat, that is going to be an overwhelming victory in your favor. Like, anytime you can do that, and that's the reason why I tend to try and focus on morale damage more than actual troop damage, because if you can focus on doing that, you will reduce the amount of your own casualties tenfold, maybe even 100-fold at that point, which is pretty crazy. We're losing a lot of units right now as well. I'm actually really surprised that the enemy is actually still fighting, to be honest. Oh yeah, that was a nice hit right there. We got some really nice charge damage with our horse, and the double whammy with the wonderful polearm charge damage too. I like it. Or should we say couch damage? You know, that's more accurate. Anyway, no, he died. Oh well, yeah, I guess that's good. Okay, fine. I was like, oh wait a minute, that's mine. That's my target. Thank you. But no, doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter who gets the kill, to be honest. Okay, so how are we doing? Okay, so we lost 48 units so far. Obviously, those are not all mine, which I think is good, but we do have to bear in mind that there is a very large army nearby to us right now, and we're going to have to do something about that. I should really take a look. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to take a look at the diplomacy screen after this, because I'd very much like to see what the combat strength of the Battanians is now, because I have been beating their armies again and again, and I'd like to see where that has led them. And there it is, 49 total deaths for our army, and now we're going to see what we can do. Alright, there you go. We've taken them prisoner, and be prepared. There are going to be numerous deaths on our side. Be prepared for that. It is going to happen in just a second after we look through the loot. I'm actually hoping that there might be something really, really good for us here. Maybe? No, there isn't. Okay, that's kind of unfortunate. Oh well, never mind. Yep, there we go. As I thought, we have 2 deaths, which is really, really harsh. I mean, obviously, the companion that we just recruited, that's obviously not that big a deal because we just recruited her, but I think she was actually a lot better than the standard companion that you usually get. So it would have been really nice for us to make her a leader of troops, but yeah. More heavily problematic is the leader of the army that we were actually fighting with, because he was pretty good, you know. He was pretty good. He knew exactly what he had to do. He went in at exactly the right moment and everything, and now we're going to have to fight against this army right here as well. I'm actually, you know what? I'm gonna do something here. Usually I don't do this, but I'm gonna do something real quick. I'm gonna take all of these units, all of these vassals, into my army instead. Come on, join me, guys. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Don't go in there. No, 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 don't go in there. Oh, dear. Yeah, I did not want them to go in there. Oh, well, never mind. I guess we'll have to help them out. As you can see, they have relatively even combat strength. Not a big fan of that. Okay, how many archers do we actually have on the battlefield? Oh, loads. Okay, this is fantastic. Okay, so it's not good, but it's kind of okay. We'll see if we can maybe salvage their eagerness for revenge, because let's face it, that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to gain revenge for their previous commander. I mean, who can blame them, eh? Who can blame them? So let's see if we can maybe do something with that. Let's put our cavalry and horse archers to the back over there. You know what? I'm actually going to put them over there instead, and then we're going to... we're basically just going to hold position here. For the most part, we're just going to hold position here. We're going to see what we can do to maybe skirmish with the opponent and their cavalry a little bit. Try and see if we can maybe do some little bits of damage to them. Maybe get a nice little cherry pick. Ah, no, never mind. Get him. Get him. Ah, never mind. Okay, one of the horses has gotten down, and oh yeah. What, they have they have Crusade units? Oh no. Oh dear. I'm not a big fan of that. Okay, yeah, that might be bad. Alright. Alright, okay. Let me see. Okay, so I think what we're going to do is we're actually going to go over here if the boundary of the battlefield is not up the hill. No. There's a pretty significant amount of space that we can utilize here. Okay, this is fantastic. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and use the hillside as a bit of cover. And we're just going to move our units over here and try and get a height advantage, because it seems like the AI has completely neglected to even see this. And so we're just going to be a bit sneaky, because if you take a look, if I just angle my camera just a little bit downwards so you can actually see the environment is blocking their view almost completely right now. And you can see that I'm placing my units in such a way so that only their a little bit of their heads are like poking out the top, which I think is okay. I mean, hopefully the enemy is not that good at sharpshooting, but you know, if they are, then props to them for getting a couple of kills. But anyway, this is what we're going to do. We're going to peek over the hill here. My archers and my infantry obviously in the front. The enemy's cavalry is going to have pretty much nothing they can do against us, because just look at how mountainous and bumpy, and there's so many trees that you can bump into. It's just terrible. Terrible for cavalry. And this is perfect for archer defense. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put our infantry into shield wall, so any cavalry that dares to enter this area is going to get taken down by them. And my archers, we do need to make it so that they move a little bit closer, and we're also going to put them into a loose formation as well. This should be pretty good. I need to move my infantry a little bit further down, because they are blocking a little bit of what my archers are trying to do here. Yeah, let's move them like so, and let's get the cavalry to come over here. Maybe we'll get a little bit of a flanking action going on. I'm not entirely sure whether that's even necessary at this point. I feel like my archers should start gaining kills quite soon. And let's tell our cavalry and horse archers to charge in, because no doubt the enemy's cavalry is going to try and do a little bit of damage to them. Let's move my archers a little bit closer. These guys, wow, they're literally putting themselves into the lowest ground that they can possibly go into. But I think that's definitely for a reason. That they're kind of trying to do the same thing that we were doing before, where they're using the environment as cover, which is actually very smart of them. So we'll see whether that's actually on purpose or not in just a second, because if it's on purpose, they'll stay pretty much around there, but if it's not, then they'll charge out of it, and they will suffer major casualties for their error. Alright, so I think what we're going to need to do now is charge our infantry in and maybe start to clear up these interloping cavalry that have actually penetrated our lines a little bit. I'm going to tell my archers to charge in now as well, because I don't really mind if they get into melee combat. I feel like archers, at least the ones that I have currently in my army, are not that bad in melee, and if they do switch to melee weapons, then I'd rather they do that than spend an age reloading their crossbow just to miss, or just to have their shot blocked by a shield or something like that. And I'd rather they go into melee and try and defend themselves that way. That's probably going to be a little bit more effective than if they were to just stand there. But anyway, let's see if we can maybe force a little bit of retreat from some of the enemy forces, because we are eliminating so many of them without losing too many units in the process. that I think in general this is done. I think they should probably think about retreating here. Wait. If they take me down, then that's going to be a pretty significant morale boost for them. Generally, if they take any of our vassals down, that is going to, well, basically spur them onward, you know. Because obviously this is all hidden, you know. These things are all hidden, these attributes. Morale is hidden from the player for the most part. And you're not really given that information. But it's there, you know. It works in the background, and each action that you take has an effect on it, whether that's positive or negative. If you take out an enemy commander, then obviously that makes a huge difference to the enemy's morale. If their morale is already low because they were out of food or because their cohesion was low or something like that, then you're going to have a pretty easy time forcing them to run away. But as is the case most of the time with the AI, their morale is seemingly fine. At least it seems like it's alright at the moment. So, yeah, where are my archers? Okay, so they're around about here. I'm going to actually tell them to consolidate themselves now. Maybe they can start using their ranged weapons again if they don't have anyone in range of them, that is. Slightly problematic. I'm not entirely sure if... are we actually doing well right here? Because I'm actually thinking we're losing. No, we're actually okay. We are just suffering some pretty heavy casualties now that we've entered the enemy's reinforcement zone. And my horse might actually go down here. I don't really want that to happen, because if my horse goes down, then I am more than likely going to follow it very, very quickly after. So if I can prevent that from happening, I will be quite happy. Ooh, he blocked that. How lucky of him. Was that a... Are you serious right now? Was that a double kill? Yes, I believe it was. Did you see that? Wow, that's actually pretty crazy. Because I thought to myself, wait a minute, I'm going to charge into these guys. And now there's a skill. I'm not entirely sure whether there's actually like a passive chance for it to happen. And I think the skill increases the chance for that particular weapon skill to activate. Basically what it means is whenever you get a kill with a couched lance, it has a percentage chance to stay couched. So theoretically, if that activates, you're going to be able to couch immediately again, and your damage will continue through your charge. And I think that's exactly what happened there, because I don't have any mods that actually allow like weapon penetration or weapons to slash through multiple enemies. I don't have those anymore. I used to have something that was super fun to use with two-handed weapons that would actually make sense, obviously. Like if you're playing a barbarian kind of character or something with like a really massive sword or something, then it's really nice to be able to slash through multiple opponents. But I have more realistic things on at the moment, and yeah. So that skill activating twice right there was the reason why that happened. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, generally, obviously, after every single couch lance, if the skill does not activate, you're going to have to press the button again to couch lance, but if it does, then you won't need to press the button, which is obviously really cool. That's a nice moment. You know, those kinds of moments are really, really fun. They are a little bit too far and, you know, few and far between, really. And that's the reason why I've generally been quite outspoken when it comes to the perk trees of Bannerlord. I feel like the perks and the various skills that you get should be just as impactful as the next one. So, for example, the trade skill. Everything has a price. I've spoken about this quite a few times. It is probably one of the most fun, enjoyable perks to pick up. And it's, I mean, obviously it should be. It is the latest tier of trade skill. You need the highest level of trade skill to be able to get it. And it is probably one of the most fun, game-changing things. It changes fundamentally how you play, which in my opinion is how perks should be. Perks should not just be, you know, oh, you gain 2% weapon speed, or whatever, you know, that kind of thing. I don't feel like they should just be like that. I feel like they should do extra things. But obviously that's just my own opinion. You know, you could have your own, and obviously the developers have their own, and so on and so forth. But in general, there we go. We lost 94 units, and I'm hopeful that maybe we'll get some more fun perks as time goes on, potentially, once they... Maybe some modders will do something like that. I'm not entirely sure, but we're going to take every single one of these guys prisoner, and then we're going to be moving on. Okay, I'm going to be taking... Oh, yeah, so many war horses. Really nice. Do we have an opportunity to get a crossbow here? A really, really good crossbow? Maybe? Nope. Seems like we've already gone past the ranged weapons, and there didn't seem to be anything there, so I will just be leaving the rest. I do have 21.3 million gold, so me taking any loot at this point is basically useless. We did have... Look at that. We had 3... No, Egan! Ah, you... Ah, the Battanians are literally absorbing lives right now. They are literally absorbing lives. It is blasted awful, isn't it? Absolutely blasted awful. Anyway, there's diplomacy. You can see that they have... Literally, they have 14,000 combat strength. I am absolutely flabbergasted by that. And why am I having to pay 4,700 tribute? Surely they should be the ones to pay me money, because I have so much combat strength right here. Oh well, never mind. Battania is Battania, as we have so far seen in this playthrough. They are a huge headache to deal with. And indeed, I think they... Have they literally expanded down here? Or did they always have that? I'm not entirely sure, to be honest, but... Yeah. I don't know how we're going to do, really, because the Tetsujin, as you can quite clearly tell, look at this. My family is literally just me and Nogand at this point. And we just have this guy. Yeah, and how many clans do we have? We actually have a pretty significant amount of clans, and they have a decent amount of members as well. But they don't seem to be anywhere, you know what I mean? Look at this. We literally just have 4 members in this party right here, and they're traveling to Foreign to defend. Where is Foreign? Here. Oh, there she is. Oh, okay, I see. So she's right there. Okay, well, that's absolutely fine, but... that's the point. The rest of our territory is completely undefended, and I don't even know what we're going to do going forward. There is actually something else that I want to play in Bannerlord, so I'm not entirely sure what we're going to do from here on out, because we kind of have a bit of an endless war situation going on here. And I think in the end, it's probably going to be us achieving victory, but it's going to take a very long time. I just don't know whether I really want to go on and continue butting heads with the Battanians instead of playing the new thing, because the new thing is actually very interesting, and it's something that I've wished to have in a Mount and Blade game for a very, very long time. I think some of you may know what I'm talking about. But anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.